Hi guys, today we're having a look at another brand new Mega Drive game, and this was released at the tail end of 2020, so it's really new, and that is Papi Commando Second Blood, a sequel to 2016's Papi Commando. They're both developed by Studio Vetea, and this one, the original from 2016, which comes in a clamshell case but in this signature watermelon sort of bubble packaging, because it was published or distributed by Watermelon Games, who obviously recently made Paprium. Now this one is distributed by Broke Studio in France, and I'll leave a link to their website in the description if you want to go and pick up a copy. Now, a bit of a spoiler alert, Papi Commando Second Blood is a vast improvement over the original, so if you have played or seen the original, then you're going to enjoy this one much more. I definitely think this is a better game and have been enjoying playing this. Anyway, I'll show you a quick look at the packaging. Like I said, clamshell case. You get obviously a cart in there and a reasonably nice manual. It looks quite nice, pretty basic, but you know, standard Mega Drive affair. Looks pretty nice, and we're going to load this up on a Model 1 Mega Drive, and I'm going to record some footage and show you a bit about the game. In essence, Papi Commando 2 is very like the original. It's a top-down run and gun, similar to the old arcade games like Commando, which is perhaps where it gets its name. But unlike these games, Papi Commando features short, distinct missions in relatively small areas, rather than your character running up the scrolling screen vertically. The manual introduces Second Blood as bigger, longer, harder. Papi Commando and his wife Mami Commando are back fighting the evil C++, who have stolen his beloved Commostrad computer and disassembled it. This is obviously an homage to both the Commodore 64 and Amstrad CPC, and is a fictional composite of both, and Papi and Mami have to fight their way through the hordes of C++ soldiers and collect all the computer pieces. There are 100 missions in total, 10 stages, each containing 10 missions referred to as zones. The stages are displayed as a 2D map reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 3, and you need to successfully complete a mission before progressing to the next. Missions come in 4 varieties: killing a set number of enemies, surviving for a given amount of time, collecting a Commostrad component, or destroying a vehicle. The missions where you need to collect a Commostrad piece are essentially exactly the same as the others, because you just run around killing enemies until the component appears on screen. Then you collect it and it's mission complete. I haven't quite figured out if it appears after you kill X number of enemies or after a certain amount of time. The survival missions I found extremely easy, as you can usually just pick a nice sheltered spot and camp there until the clock runs down, shooting any enemies that stray into your vicinity. By far the hardest missions are the vehicles, which are either trucks or various tanks. They drive back and forth across the screen shooting at you, while enemies also run around the screen. Quite tricky and requires a bit of patience, and using environmental objects as cover is essential. The controls are very basic in a good way. Move around with the D-pad or stick, press A to fire, B to lock your direction, and C to use your knife. You'll frequently run out of ammo, so your knife is useful for close quarters combat until you can replenish it. Locking your direction with B is useful, as it allows you to move while focusing your fire in a specific direction, particularly useful on the vehicle stages where you want to lock in a diagonal shot. Enemies vary between soldiers, robots and zombies. Some are more armoured than others, requiring more shots to kill, and they all have different weaponry, from guns and knives to grenades and lasers. At zone 10 in each stage, you fight a boss, which is usually either a vehicle like a truck or a tank, and I believe later stages have other bosses, but I haven't quite got there yet. There are quite a few power-ups and pickups to collect during the levels. Standard pickups include ammo, health and money, and a power-up that lets you shoot 2 bullets at once. Power-ups appear randomly and bounce around the level until you collect them. These are bullets, a speed boost, armor piercing bullets, and a power-up that temporarily freezes all enemies on screen. Although random, the extra bullets power up will appear when you run out of ammo, so the short supply of ammo isn't as big a deal as you might initially think. Planes also fly overhead, shooting, dropping bombs and/or dropping useful pickups. Each stage has a shop at the top right of the map above Zone 5. Here you can spend money you've collected on upgrades, including increased weapon power and range, ammo capacity, speed, extra lives and so on. The game can be played as either character, Papi with his Uzi, or Mammy armed with a Magnum, or can of course be played 2-player co-op. Those who have seen or played the 2016 original will probably notice the increased polish on Second Blood. The music is pretty good, and if you find a track that's not to your liking, the in-game menu will let you pick another or turn off the music altogether. The graphics are a huge improvement, maintaining the same overall style with the chibi characters, but the colour palette and graphical quality are vastly improved. The original looked slightly fuzzy, for want of a better word, but this looks great. Sure, it's not the best looking game on the Mega Drive, but this sort of game doesn't need to be. What it does need is playability, which the original admittedly had, but again, Second Blood trumps the original in this regard. The gameplay is tighter and more responsive, the difficulty is very well balanced, and the power-ups and shop upgrades add some welcome embellishment. I found myself really enjoying playing this. It's definitely a lot of fun and a game that I'll be going back to again and again. And replays are aided by the fact that there's a password system for stages, so you can carry on from the last stage you reached. So that's Papi Commando Second Blood. I'm definitely recommending this one, it's brilliant fun. There's a link to Broke Studio's site in the description if you want to order a copy, and thanks again to them for sending this over. Thanks for watching.